When I was in the seminary, one of my Old Testament professors showed us that if you ever want to get on God's bad side, the number one thing to do to really get God upset is to question His power to change reality. In other words, they say, well, this is the way it is, and not even God can change that. And we kind of come to those understandings sometimes, and that goes to heaven very quickly. And God listens to that very closely. Never, ever question God's ability to affect reality. Now, but there's other things that get God upset too. And if you want a list of those, all we have to do is go to the prophets. The prophets is a list, if you will, of what to avoid getting God angry. And we hear one of those today. Prophet Jeremiah goes to the leaders of Israel, and he tells them, you know, you guys are terrible. You're terrible leaders. You're misleading and you're scattering the people. You're using your power for your own personal gain. So stop it and get right with God, if you will. Lead the people in the ways of the Torah and the Jewish way. Lead them this way. And this is the message that Jeremiah is speaking to the people, more the leaders, if you will. And sure enough, you know, all through history, even currently now, we see this. This same reading could apply to all sorts of political leaders. It should be almost like a handbook to political leaders and says, look, you are under a microscope. Be careful here. But there's always scandals, either sexually or financially, of our leaders. And you know what? We're used to it. And when it happens, we kind of want to know the kind of lurid details. We kind of just want to know what they're into. But as a matter of fact, if they're doing something, well, you know, after a while we just kind of say, well, yeah, you know, that's just the way it is. And now Jeremiah is called to preach to that. Now, if we look at that reading, you say, well, yeah, these leaders are terrible, or these leaders should be changed, and all of that. And what can happen is we can dismiss this reading, unless you're a politician or some type of person who is in some type of high power position. Otherwise, all right, yeah, we've heard it before. Let's not be too quick to put this reading away, especially when it comes to us. However, we'll get back to that. The apostles. The apostles were sent on kind of their first mission, if you will. Jesus sent them out on a solo adventure. He says, I want y'all to go out and preach the good news. I want you to heal people, and I want you to expel demons. And they did that, and they did it well. And it worked so well, they came back, and they were excited. This is what happened. They were telling stories and telling Jesus what was happening, and all of that was going on, and they were very, very tired. And Jesus even saw this. And Jesus says, why don't you come away to a deserted place? Now think about this. All of us have been in this kind of situation. Let's go positive first. I'm going to use WashU here as a good example. The people here who work on retreats, there's these retreats that are run here that are spectacular, but so much work is going into them just to watch people work to make these retreats so successful. And then afterwards, I am sure the people, all of you who've worked on these retreats, are just exhausted, as you should be. Exhausted because you are doing God's work. And after the retreat, there has to be just a letdown and a time to sleep. And that is normal. That's positive. Also now, let's think of something negative, and we all need to do this. And negative meaning when the day just goes wrong. Everything is going wrong. And we all have had these days, and we will have more of these days. It's just normal. Where just think it out yourself. Use your own thoughts, use your own history to think about when things were really bad for you. And then now let's look what Jesus wants us to do. Come away by yourselves to a deserted place. That makes sense. As human beings, we should go away and be by ourselves, only normal, and rest for a while. We need sleep. It is natural for us to sleep. So we need to do this, and Jesus is taking his apostles there. But here's the problem. People were coming in great numbers. We can't get away. It's one of those days where you can't get away. And the apostles had no food. It says they had no opportunity even to eat. So you're tired and you're hungry. I want you to think about this. How do you react when you are tired and you are hungry? Well, they went off. They got away. They went into a boat. But people were wise to this. So as they went on the boat, I guess they took the slow route. People somehow, I guess, went around. And when the boat arrived with the apostles to this retreat place, our own little private place, there were people there. And you say, oh my God, you get off the boat, you want to be by yourself, and here are all these people. And they've got needs, and they've got concerns, and they've got wants, and they're just after us. Jesus saw this. Okay, here it comes. See, this is where Jesus sometimes is irritating here, because Jesus does come into play here, and what does he do? He has pity on them, and he starts to take care of them. But you say, well, this is our time, Jesus. Me and your time, Jesus. Me and you, Jesus. Just us together, bonding time, Jesus. But we've got these people, and they're bothersome, and they're needy, and they're wanting. And Jesus says, well, have pity on them. Let's take care of them. And that's the message. The hard message. The gut check time here is that, you know what? We're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There is no time off, ever. So let's just get used to that. Now think about that. That's awful if you think about it. There is no time off, ever. So let's just get used to that. Sometimes in our life, we're going to have to deal with these situations. How do we deal with them? We have to be careful here. Because when I am tired and I am hungry, I have a tendency to snap. And we all do. And we all snap at different ways, and we all say things, and we all use body language and facial features different ways. But the message is quite clear. You're bothering me. I don't want to deal with you. I wish you would go away. Now, we can make a, and here's a good argument. Come on, Jesus, let's use the retreat people. We were with you, Jesus, in the morning, in the noon, at night, and for many days we were there with you, Jesus, and we brought these people to you, and we bonded, and, we're really high on you, Jesus, but, we need some time, so just give us a little bit of time. Just a little bit of me time and you time, maybe. Please, I've done my share here. Give me my time here, and today Jesus is saying, absolutely not. You get no time. None of us get that time. People come into our lives. The good news is we do get time to ourselves. It's not every time we go away people interfere. You know what? You will get to sleep, and there will be time, and you will be by yourself, and that is good. Take advantage of it. But while all of life is going on, people are going to interfere. It's up to us to be kind and considerate. Because if we do not, if we use that facial expression, if we get real angry and snap at people, we become bad shepherds. We start to mislead and to scatter. Jesus calls sheep to us and asks us to be shepherds at times. We are to respond to that. And we respond to it at any time. But the moment it says it's all about me, and about my wants and my needs and not yours, then we can become shepherds who scatter. So see how easy it is. It's easy to blame the politicians and those in power, but we have to beware ourselves that we do not fall into the same trap into a more subtle way. We're always called to be good. We're always called to be compassionate. No matter how we feel, no matter what time of day it is, no matter what condition is going on, we are to reflect Christ's love. So, today, the challenge. Try to get away as much as you can. Look for that quiet time, please. We do need it. Nice sleep. If you can get a long nap in, great. Get a good sleep in, great. If you find yourself alone, great. But if another human being comes within our vicinity, if another person comes within reach, we are called to shepherd. We're called to share Christ's love. When we do that, we become better people. And when we become better people, and believe me, the world becomes a lot better as well.